Hey everyone, Yatesy here. Have you ever wondered how Inside 6 Yards started? Stay tuned to this week's episode. You'll find out. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Inside 6 Yards. I'm your host Yatesy. With me as always, my trusted co-host,
Mr. Tommy Gunn.
Yes. So as you would have heard in that little cheeky intro we did, we had a question. How did Inside 6 Yards start? Tommy?
Mate, it is always an interesting story traveling back down memory lane, if you like. So it's over a year ago now, man.
Yeah, it's a good trip. So it's just like a thriller, isn't it? There's a nice story at the start, all romantic and butterflies, our start of our relationship, and then that comes that real scary flashbacks of very awkward designs of our podcast and very bad intakes and outtakes and all that type of stuff. And then we come to a beautiful baby who's been made together, which is what we got now, Tommy.
Which is pretty much what we have now. It's a beautiful baby. But how all things begin is, let's just start with the name. So, like, how did we actually come up with the name of Inside 6 Yards? I'd love to take the credit for it, but definitely not my idea.
I'll take let's say 80% of the credit for it, and I'll give you the last.
I'd say about 99 to be honest,
because it was well, look, Tommy, run through a few of the names we come up with.
So look. So this was one day us sitting down, or we were chatting on Facebook, and it was Yatesy's idea to come up with a podcast. So this was us going, okay, after we filmed a couple of YouTube videos, we were like, let's bring something else into it. So we did. We were like, Yatesy said, let's do a podcast, and I was like, oh sweet, what could be the name? And like, I'm just going through a couple of our old messages here, and ideas came across like Golden Glove Hour, Golden Glove Podcast, Keepers Club Podcast, Perth Keepers Club Podcast. So we
almost like a tongue tie.
Yeah, we had like lots of ideas, but the closest thing that I can find was Mr. Yatesy, and it was just here, and it says 6 yards and more. So this is the message that I received from Yatesy. It's 6 yards and more. So, and I actually responded going, do you mean yards? And he's like, no, yarn as in chat. And I was like, that's so cool. So I didn't realize that it was a good pun. So literally 6 yarns and more. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And that's kind of how it started from there. And then the next message I received from Yatesy is something different or inside the 6 yarns. So basically from there, it was set in stone. Yeah. It was Inside the 6 Yards. That was going to be the name of the podcast, and then we eventually shortened it to Inside 6 Yards. And that's the name. So now we've got the name. We're like, sweet, we've got a name. How do we go about the logo? Like, what's the idea with the logo? Like, what do we do from here?
Here comes the bad part of the movie where all the horror stuff happens.
So we'll go into the logo now. So we had a couple of ideas. We started like goalkeeper gloves, maybe a 6 yard box. That would make sense. Football. And then we got in touch with the designer to try and put this all together. And we're like, okay, let's get the logo sorted. So here we're going to show you guys up now our very first design that we got.
So before you show it, viewers out there, if you're a bit squirmish, turn away. Tommy's already put it up. So,
but I will turn so you guys get to see.
There you go. Good day to get a time to turn away and close your eyes.
So I'll get it up on ice cream, but basically it is revealing 3, 2, 1. Bam. All right, and there it is. So that is the very first design that we received from the designer for Inside 6 Yards. Quite interesting. More of a retro kind of look. What do you think, Yates?
Yeah, definitely Major League Football there. Early 90s. Like I was saying to you before, Tommy, I think we definitely need to put that on a retro goalkeeping shirt. That is, take out the green bit at the bottom. But colour scheme was good. We liked the purple. We liked the black.
Yeah, we did decide pretty early on the colour scheme. We were like, we want purple in there, which was kind of cool because we were like, Perth Glory colours. But like, it's also, just we love purple. So it was a natural choice there.
Different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different. It's a different look to what we ended up with. So this was the original concept art that we got.
The OG.
The original concept art that we really got. And it was really cool. So from there, I actually designed my own version of the logo. So from there, what happened was we were like, cool, that's good. We've got a few elements there. Yeah. And then from there, I designed something very similar on like an online creator. And we'll show that to you guys now. So that is the original concept from me. So this is what I kind of put together. And this was kind of what we liked. It was the kind of the theme I think we were going for. But it was just not right.
Well, you look at it now, what we've got up there, and to our logo now.
Yeah.
As you can see, the bottom. Can they see the bottom right hand screen on that?
There we go.
You can tell who does the technical stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can see like the template there is fairly similar.
Yeah.
Just the writing and typing, all that's all the font and all that's probably a little bit different too. So
yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do was try and merge the two ideas that we had. So the logo that I had done and the designer, the design that the initial design that the designers come up with, and try and merge them together. Yeah. And we were like, we kind of want the similar theme from both. All right. And then this will probably look a bit closer to what we eventually come up with. And the next one we're going to show you is slightly closer. It's a slightly closer rendition, but I'll show you guys now. So this one, this one up here. So this is the design concept for Inside 6 Yarns as well. So it's getting closer.
It is getting closer.
It's getting a lot closer, except, the fonts are bang on. The writing that we decided to go with was Orbitron is the actual font.
Orbitron, I do like that.
Orbitron, so is the font that we decided to come up with for this. The box we loved. We actually didn't change the box at all. So the box is remained constant from here.
Yep.
The purple does change a little bit throughout the design, and the font gets a bit thicker. But we did love the idea of the gloves and the ball, and the kind of like it's like a keeper making a save, and that was
fans.
Yeah, we loved that the idea from there, and so from there it was it was just a matter of tinkering with the design. And I think we've got one more design to show you guys where it's a little bit closer that we got. A little bit closer. Yes. So I'll show you guys. This is a little bit closer to the final result that we actually got, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. Again, you can see those steps that are...
Yeah, you can see where we're finally getting to in the steps of the design side of things as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's so interesting though. Like it's like the design aspect of it, and if you're interested in design, like we are, I love it. I love designing this type of stuff. But yeah, and I'm just pulling up the last logo here, the white version of our current logo, which is the black version you'll see in the bottom right hand corner, but this version here. So that was the final rendition of the logo. And we love it to this day. Absolutely love it.
It's pretty much it's just the same logo in a way, isn't it? Just different color. So
exactly the same as the other logo, which is just here as well. So we just changed the white for black really on this one. I can show you here, guys. So V right here. So it's the same rendition, just black.
Well, the white is like
the white is black and the black is white.
Can't really see, but on the shirts.
Yeah,
white one.
On our shirts. Yeah. On our shirts right here, just all white. And it's awesome. And this was the final part of the starting up. And we were like, okay, cool. We've got a logo now. Awesome. And then we were tinkering with the idea of what to actually do with our intro. So like, should we just have the logo? Should we rotate it? What should we actually do? And then I think it was me that came up with the idea to animate it and to make it into like an introduction.
Yeah.
And mind you guys, this is never seen before footage for you guys. So this is all back of house type of stuff that we've never released before, which is awesome. Gives you guys a bit of an insight as to how this all really was created. But from there, we talked to the designer and wanted him to animate it. So the idea was, we've got a gloves and a ball, why don't we, make a save? Like why don't we get the balls or the gloves catching the ball, and then the sort of formation of the logo. And what we will show you here, guys, is the original very first concept video that we received from the designer. And I'll just pull it across here so you guys can see it. But yeah, it's really interesting, and it's very similar. We didn't make too many changes. So I'll just give you guys over here. But we didn't make too many changes to this. So the music stayed the same. So I'm going to mute it so the music actually stays the same. It's more or less just the graphics. But you can see that it's the white version of our logo. And the background is a little bit different. So for me, we ended up choosing a different silhouette. So we wanted more of a darker background and a white silhouette in the end. So with our current intro, it's actually a little bit different. So it's slightly different background and a white silhouette. And we preferred the black version of the logo in the end as well.
It looks better, stands out more.
Yeah. And once we got the introduction all sorted, that's the podcast from there. And then it's always interesting as well. Like this is taking me back a year now.
Feels like a few years.
Yeah, it does. It feels like forever ago, to be honest. Feels like a long time ago. And then we started the podcast, and then it grew and grew and grew. And then we ended up shortening everything, because we inside 6 yards, we ended up shortening it to I6Y as well. So we call it I6Y a lot. And then we started thinking, okay, how do we come up with a more simplified version of our logo that we can use on, hats and shirts that's not too overly complicated like this one is. There's a lot of detail into it, and that you can't really get on a lot of shirts. So what I wanted to do was come up with a different logo, or an I6Y logo that literally is just the I6Y. And we'll show you guys some photos of what we actually did here. So I'm going to show you the very first concept of the i6Y. And it's basically just using the fonts. So it's just using the I, the 6, and the Y from inside 6 yards. So over here. Do you remember me sending this to you?
Yeah, I do. It was because it's one of those things when we were talking about it, Tommy. It's, you look at say Adidas and Nike, very short, sweet names.
We wanted something, smaller.
Nike's got the tick, and all you need to see that tick and you exactly know what it is. Adidas has those little funny triangle-looking thing that comes up. You've got that. But what I was thinking with it is obviously Ralph Lauren or Lauren, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's quite long. Yeah, and their symbol
is the Ralph Lauren is the polo.
Yeah, the polo dude.
Yeah.
So that you see that and your mind thinks straight to that. You know what I mean?
For me, I was thinking of when I was trying to design this myself, I was thinking of Saint Laurent, the YSL. Oh yes, that's what I was thinking of, and this was a type of the crux of it, if you like, that I was trying to get to.
Is it New York Zoo?
New York, yeah.
That's a really cool design too.
Yeah, that is really cool.
So that's what we came along is trying to design something. So what Tommy will pull up now, is the next one after
the next interpretation of
Gen
the i6. You could call it Generation 2, yeah. So of the i6Y logo. So this is what basically we wanted to do as a i6 and Y, and it looked quite nice. We like the format a little bit better.
Simplicity of it as well.
Yeah, keeping it nice and simple. And this is the biggest question that we get to the day, is that we changed it, and we changed the I to a 1. So actually the logo is a 16Y, but it's also an i6Y. It's like a mixture of the two. It's quite interesting in how it's actually created. But basically, we kept the 6 and Y the same, and we just added a little bit onto the I to make it a 1. And then we get the final creation, which is the i6Y logo that we know now. And there's a couple of questions that we always get. Is it 16Y? Is it i6Y? doesn't really matter. It is a 1. It is a 1 in the design.
It's how you say it. Just like, is it Adidas or Adidas?
Yeah, exactly.
Spelt the same way. It's just how you tomato. It's actually up to you how you prefer.
Yeah.
When I look at that, I think Inside 6 Yarns, but I do like how's the 1, because 1 is, if you hold that number 1 spot in goals, you have number 1 on your t-shirt.
There's a lot of double meanings to the 1 being in there. And me and Yatesy both wanted the 1 in the design. And the reason for that being is that we both strive to be the number 1. And we both believe the goalkeeper, that number 1 spot, we like having the number 1 on our backs, and we both strive for that number 1. So that number 1 has a lot of representation and a lot of double meanings behind it. Whether or not you want to pronounce it the I6Y or 16Y logo, up to you.
The world is your oyster.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
But that is our second logo. And so that was our logo that we wanted to create for clothing and all that type of stuff. And hint, maybe some gloves. Maybe.
Only time will tell, I guess.
Maybe we'll have to see in future videos. But yeah, so the 16 or the I6Y logo was then created for just a simplified version of the Inside 6 Yarns. And then we've got our 2 logos. So we had the Inside 6 Yarns, the podcast logo, and then we had the 16Y, the I6Y logo for clothing and stuff like that. And that's our brand. And it's awesome. I love it to bits. And it's awesome when you see the process and you see how everything was created. And hopefully it does actually help you guys understand how everything worked. And if you've got any questions or if you like some of the older renditions, let us know in the comment section below as well. It is awesome, and we absolutely love doing what we do, and the podcast. And we're looking forward to getting some more merch as well on potentially in the future as well with the I6Y logo.
Some more episodes.
More episodes, more content, more challenges, and definitely a bright future for Inside 6 Yarns.
Yes.
But I think that's us for this episode, mate.
It is.
But for all you guys out there that have supported us for the last year or so, we do appreciate you. And for all the newcomers, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. Hit the comment section as well. Let us know what you'd like to see more of in the future. But from now, I've been Tommy Gunn.
And I make me Yatesy.
And this has been Inside 6 Yarns, guys. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
You.